So, yeah, this is Saeed. He's one of the local entrepreneurs here in Portland. And you want to talk about a little bit about why you got into the food cart business as opposed to like regular restaurants?
Yeah, I think the situation was very bad for me to find a job. So then I like cooking, so I found myself in the food cart. And I think I love this job, and I like the people. So I'm happy. I'm happy with it. So that makes me feel like I want to build more, and I have another food cart, so now I have two, and I'm building the third. So I think I'm going to be in this job for a long time.
Yeah, and how long have you been doing it so far?
I've been doing it almost a year.
Yeah.
And for 1 year I have two food carts. That's very good.
Uh-huh. And you pretty much, I mean, everything gets kind of invested back in, but you still cover things, and you made your own job. I mean, basically.
Yeah. I have some payment in it, but it's not like, it's worth it. In the end, like after that, you own business. So.
Yeah. I mean, and we can see other people like getting involved with these here. It's kind of nice to have them in a group where everybody's like this, but like right now, nobody lives here at the location. It's basically everybody lives in regular houses and apartments because we're in a big city. But if you're in another location with a few of these things, these things are relatively portable, right? I mean, you can pick them up and move them for the most part.
You can remove it for any location. But I think in downtown it's very good because like you have many offices around you, and you have lunch crowd and dinner crowd. So I think for me it's doing very good. It's not like make you rich, but it make you have total life,
Yeah. I mean, you can still have something and still be your own boss.
That's better from sitting in the house and I can't find a job. So for me, that like was replacement for my job, as I'm like a professional with working. So I think to be cooking for people makes me happy too.
Yeah, that's cool. All right. Well, we're going to wrap this little interview up, and I'm going to make a couple more videos of the food carts. So this is another one. This is at the Fifth and Stark place, but it actually takes up more than a block. And but here we got the Bugoli stuff. We've got the India. We got the Thai. We got the Hawaiian. We got the Cuban one. I did some metal work in this one. This little food cart here was actually commercially produced by a chick I know. She makes these in her backyard and sells them to the entrepreneur type people. I think she built this one somewhere in the $6,000 range, and it was still profitable. It does say, it's profitable for everybody involved. Doesn't look about like much, but they serve great food and it's clean. It's all still regulated. One of Saeed's other carts here. Now this one, I didn't build it. This is a construction office trailer, and you can get these things raw bones around here, $500. 2,000 buys one in actually almost good shape. The entire food cart conversion, yeah, that's another 5 or 6, maybe even 10 grand. The big factor on that is whether or not you're going to buy the restaurant equipment new or used. Yeah, they don't have any tables set up here, and that's just one of the limitations you have when setting these on the street. So a lot of people buy the food and then carry it back to the office type of thing. Here's a Thai one. They're pretty decent. This one I haven't tried out. It's not quite as nice as I'd want it to be. The fish and chips place is another good one. It's hardly ever open. Another Thai food. They're all pretty good. Two Mexican places. Now this one's set up. The Mexicans have been doing this type of thing for a long time, so they have it set up pretty nicely. They did an aluminum superstructure up top. It's actually semi-permanent. A lot of aluminum and stainless steel work here. Food counter. They're actually a little bit higher end as far as these things go. Now he's got a side service on here, which has been a little tricky because it requires 2 parking spaces. So here in Portland, a lot of people do these with rear service. Rear service window. Now the Mexican one, they have it on both sides. But they're also paying for 2 parking spaces. So in paying for the extra parking space for the people to eat, that's something. The Saigon one, really good. They're pretty good for a lot of stuff. And this is the other Vietnamese one. They moved. Okay, this stuff gets moved around. That's now Greek, and we got the Greek chicken there, and that's nice, stainless steel inside. But yeah, this stuff changes from time to time. They put a little carpet thing down here. The awnings are usually large enough that you can stand under there and get out of the rain. And anyway, I'm going to grab something to eat real quick, and we'll do another video in a little bit. So the guy at one of the Vietnamese places cut me a good deal on these Vietnamese salad rolls with shrimp. They're really good. Doing the old military thing of using the hood of the truck as a dinner table. Hey, you know, if you've done time in the military, you know how that works. Anyway, I'm going to eat real quick and make more video later. Although most people call this the 5th and Stark food court area. You can see a major banking building here on one corner. Homeless people down the street, but you know, it's cool. It is what it is. And I actually got some food from that really dumpy looking Vietnamese one, and they were really good. Yeah, sometimes it's not a rhyme or reason as to how spotless one of these is and how good the food is. This is the back utility side of some of the food carts. There's electrical limitations out here, so I think because there are 220 services on all of these things. So on the food carts that I worked on, I put 50 amp breakers in them, you know. And so anyway, yeah, so a lot of stuff runs on propane. And then here's one that came in a little bit long, so we had to clip off the whole trailer hitch and put that on. And basically, when it comes time to move this, we got to weld the front back on, but that's not impossible because we got the 220 power. And then if we just need to maneuver it, I set this up with the lowering jacks here. And they're a little bit taxed for the weight limit, but it works, you know. And the running water here is a little improvised, but it's approved by the city. And so basically you pump water up to the roof and gravity feed. And that actually works pretty well. You know, it's a little improvised, but it does work well. And not everybody has that. You can look around here, and yeah, water actually becomes an issue in running these things, or any kind of restaurant business. The other thing you're going to run into is the electricity. I'll show you the big breaker box here, but it's down in red one. That's one I did a lot of work on. It started out in life as a construction office. And the guy we did the interview with, Arab guy, he's the one who got the ball rolling on that. He's done a few of them. He's doing them in a map because this whole thing's international. We got the redneck roundup over here with the Cajun thing, but they're rarely open. We got I think Czech over here, India. We got some Hungarian people. We got Vietnamese over in the other end, and the Cuban one. I worked on that little orange Cuban one. But anyway, this is the electrical service, but it's all locked up right now. But that becomes a big issue whenever somebody's setting this up from a municipal standpoint. But the city is definitely getting all their money back here. So, yeah, a lot of electricity goes in here because everybody's running 220 volt stuff. They're running propane, but there's a lot of 220 going through here, believe me. And yeah, we make sure that we use all of it. But anyway, here's another reality we got to deal with in the food cart business. There's no drainage in these places, so we have to do gray water hauling, which means that there's little catch tanks on the bottoms of these things. A little catch tank I installed over there, and then this gets pumped out every couple days. You give the guy like 20 bucks or something, and that's how we deal with the water removal. Okay, so this is the inside of one of the Portland food carts. I did work on this one, and this is basically a mobile kitchen that in its previous life was a construction office trailer. We brought it up to code for like sealed walls, tile board, a mix of real restaurant equipment and kind of household stuff. Because the trick with these things is to be on budget and get things done. But you know, we use stainless steel where we can. And seal everything. Here we've got our chef, and you can tell us a little bit about how you got into the food cart business and what motivated you for that.
Well, I started in 08, was my first food cart that I ever was involved with. And really, it was a buddy of mine. We decided we were going to do something crazy. Wanted to start up a restaurant. Found that the finances weren't into it for a brick and board. And we looked at this as an idea and ran with it. Then my uncle, this is, like I said, this is my second go-about with food carts. Brought this one up to me, and so I'm doing this one.
That's cool, yeah.
But,
and you guys are, you're up and running right away? It's not like you had to borrow a bunch of money or anything? You just,
I don't know about that.
A little bit? But it's still a lot more cost effective than an outright restaurant, basically.
Yeah. Even my first cart was half the overhead of what we're dealing with here, as far as I can tell. And a full-blown brick and board is twice that even.
Yeah.
The overhead for a brick and board full-blown restaurant is extreme compared to what it is in the food cart.
Right.
You can put out the same quality, great food.
Yeah, and that's one of the big things here in Portland is, I mean, it's great food, great quality food. I mean, we don't have the overhead, but usually nobody's scrimping on the food, and that's, you know, even in the down economy, it's one of the things nobody's compromising on.
Well, you know, just because you're poor, you're still hungry.
Yeah, and people still have an appreciation for good stuff, you know. That never went away.
Well, I've noticed a lot of good chefs that, you know, they want to be their own boss, want to do their own thing, and that's how they got into it.
Yeah.
And they're good chefs.
Yeah.
You know, and they come in and do this instead of having to have some guy be like,